Welcome to Architrave Gaming, I'm the Archmaster. So, today we're talking about dynamic combats without prep. This is one I've been thinking about making for like a year. But before I even started the channel, it's like I've got to tell people about this. So, it's the idea that, okay, so first the problem in D&D 5e is that in order to have like, we know what really cool combats look like. You have, dynamic changing environments, you have hazards in the world, you have, interactables that the players can use and whatnot. You have all sorts of really cool things, and we know how to do that. But the problem is it takes time. You have to prep that stuff. You have to decide what goes where, and is this balanced, and how does it work, and blah, blah, blah. You have to do all this stuff. One of my main goals with making Arches and Avatars, my own game system, which really should have gotten that book, is let GMs run epic combats without prep. Take all of the really cool stuff and just put it in tables, or just make it something they can remember off the top of their head and just implement, right? This is one such example. This is kind of like translated to 5e a bit, so it's not going to be like as cool as it is in Arches and Avatars, but still, it kind of gives you an idea of what I'm going for. So, in my world, I have these things called angle folds, where if you've ever seen the old Spider-Man cartoon, there was an episode about the Spot. And he could create all these, portals and whatnot, these big black portals, and he could like stick his arm through one and it would come out another, right? It's basic portal stuff. And so he would be, beating Spider-Man because he's punching through all the things and hitting Spider-Man from anywhere because there's spots like all over the battlefield. So he can just jump through one and dodge an attack and appear somewhere else and kick him in the back. The Spot knew where all the stuff was. And I thought, that's a super cool idea, right? That stuck with me for the last 20 years or something. So the idea of angle folds is you have those, but they aren't big visible black spots. They are invisible, just angles, where if you punch at the right angle in the right spot, it'll come out another spot, right? You can't see it. You don't know exactly where it is, right? But maybe if you have the right vision, or maybe in combat, it looks like a fold in space, right? You can kind of see it. If you've played Skyrim and gone to the throat of the world and seen the fold in space, it's something kind of like that. It's an angle fold, where if I punch through this thing, or shoot an arrow, or cast a fireball, whatever, I can walk through it, etc., then it comes out somewhere else. So, GM, this is something you can add to any combat really easily. You're like, oh, okay, great. We started combat, great. There's an angle there, and there, and here, and here, right? And they, connect to each other opposite, or the ones that are closer to each other connect, or the ones that are farthest, right? It's super simple. And you can even roll some dice to see where they appear on the map, or let different players choose. Oh, I see one here. I see there are tons of ways you can apply these to the map, but you don't need any prep. You just say, okay, great. There are 4 angle folds here, or 6, or 10, or 2, or none, right? But you can add these in and make any combat more dynamic and interesting. You give the players more options, because it's like, ooh, I can jump through this thing and appear out that side, or I can, shoot my fireball into this angle here and it'll come out there on that thing. Like there's so many cool things you can do with the movement and the attack potential and all sorts of things. If you just have these little portals everywhere and they just pop up in combat, you can say, oh, these portals are actually all over the world. But you can use them like lots of times. The GM can just decide, oh yeah, there's an angle here, or there's an angle fold there, and you don't know where it goes. Like I do this in my game system. Every once in a while, I'll just roll a d20 and be like, oh yeah, there happens to be an angle fold nearby, and who knows where it goes to? Let me roll for that. Oh, deep underground, whatnot. But in combat, it can be just super simple, super easy, and you're like, there are 4 angle folds here, and they connect like this, and you're like, cool. Or you can just not tell them where they connect and have them experiment and figure it out. Like, okay, I jump through this one. It's like, you appear here. It's like, oh, great, I have vantage point, advantage on my ranged attacks, right? All sorts of cool stuff. It's just another cool thing to do in combat. But that's only one of 4. The other one is walkable surfaces. You take something like in Metroid Prime, the GameCube game, you had these surfaces that had like this weird texture on them, and you could go into your like rolling ball form, and you could like stick to the walls and the ceiling and whatnot with that stuff. I think that's a cool idea. So you're in combat, and the GM's like, okay, great, there are these 4 angle folds here, and this wall is walkable, that pillar is walkable, this ceiling is walkable, etc. Like you can just declare whatever surfaces can be walked on normally. That can be so much cooler. Like even if there are no mechanical advantages at all, the player's like, great, I run up the wall to the highest point and then I fireball. It's like, that's cool. Like, even if it does no extra advantages at all, everyone's still shooting and attacking normally. It's just a cool thing. You can have wall running. You can just add wall running anywhere and be like, all right, all of the vertical walls in the entire place are, you can walk on them. So people just run up and they're doing Titanfall stuff, and they're running along walls and attacking each other and jumping from thing to thing. Like you can have pillars and whatnot, and you can run on the sides of the pillars and the sides of the walls. So you run up on a wall and jump on a pillar and like spin around it and jump to the next one. You can get advantage on your attacks because you spin around on it, get momentum and land down on someone. You can do so many cool things with just saying these surfaces are walkable, right? That's a dynamic, interesting combat with zero prep. You're like, the wall's walkable now, super cool. Next, landmines, what I call elemental landmines. It's essentially some kind of element like fire, acid, force, something that's condensed. It got trapped in the ground or the walls or the ceiling or anywhere, right? It got trapped somewhere and it's sitting there like glowing and like we want to explode. As soon as someone steps on us or moves over us or makes an attack within 5 feet of us or anything, right? There's so many cool triggers for this. It'll just explode out and do XD6 damage to whoever's nearby. And yeah, you can make it take extra long. They have to make it save, or you can just make a low amount of damage and be like, you take it without a save. It happens, right? That's cool. So anyway, that thing where you just have these landmines anywhere and everywhere, let players activate them. It's essentially taking the idea of video game exploding barrels on you're playing a multiplayer map and there are all the red fire barrels everywhere, and an enemy gets near and you can shoot it and blow it up. It's kind of like that, where you see, oh yeah, there's a red one glowing there and a white one, which is force damage, and a green one, which is acid damage. They're all glowing and they're all in various places. Cool, move the enemy over there so I can activate, right? You can shoot your arrow at it, you can, throw a weapon at it, you can walk up and stab it and have it explode, any number of things, right? Or what I would do is simply have the person use a free action. In my system would be a speak action. They yell at the thing and they're like, explode! And it's their aggression and their anger activates it, right? There's so many, you can make this as easy as you want, right? You can require, it has to be attacked with a special magic weapon. Sure, if you want to make it difficult to use, but this is about having interesting choices in combat and cool dynamic things without prep, so I would say make it as easy to use as you can. Make it take a bonus action if you want. So anyway, yeah, landmines, anywhere and everywhere. GM, you can just be like, there's a whole cluster of landmines right there, 10 of them. It's put all the enemies right there and don't activate them until, there's so many cool things. You can have some that are activated just by stepping on them, some that have to be activated intentionally, some that are activated when a person dies standing on it, or when a person attacks while standing on it, or is attacked while standing on it. You can have, so many things. Or when the landmine itself is attacked, etc. And lastly, bodies exploding. When a creature is killed, instead of saying, oh, he's gone, he's taken off the map, have him explode. The whole landmine thing, it's what if everyone had a landmine in them? Or you walk into this certain, combat environment, and it just so happens that all the landmines in this area have you have plants that release spores and they can get in people. Say it's kind of the magical version of spores, where it's oh yeah, all the landmines in this area, they're all releasing magical landmine spores, and so if anyone dies in this area, the landmine energy gets into them and they explode, right? There's so many ways you can explain this away, right? But that makes it so much more interesting. It's okay, I'm going to kill this guy, and then maybe immediately or 2 rounds later or 1 round later or whatnot, right? He explodes. And so we kill the guy and throw him against the other guy, then at the end of my turn, he'll explode, right? There's so many cool things you can do. It makes movement matter. It's yeah, I will provoke that attack of opportunity and run out of the way because 2 people are about to explode. And so I'd rather run and take the 1 hit than take both of these explosions, right? And of course, based on level, based on the difficulty of the game, it's entirely up to you. It can be 1d6, 2d6, 10d, 12 damage, whatever works for you. The landmines can be large and they can take up 4 spots. It's that's a huge one. It's a d6 for each spot, blah, 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 right? Whatever you want. It's super cool. Landmines, exploding bodies, these are things you can just plop into any combat, in every combat. Hey, you can run on the walls and here are these portals and there are these landmines in the place. If you're using a battle mat, you can just get different colored markers, or even the same color marker, and just be L for landmine and W for walkable, a walkable surface, and A for angle fold, and you know that everyone's going to explode when they die, or maybe every other person explodes when they die. That's cool. Actually, it's hey, you kill him, and then I'll kill this guy when he's next to the boss, so then he'll blow up and kill the boss, right? It makes ranged attacks actually interesting and useful now. It's not that they aren't entirely useful, they're actually overpowered, but still, it's it gives you choices, gives you options. What am I going to do? How am I going to move this? How am I going to use this combat? Who am I going to kill and where are they going to be when I kill them? Shoving people, leading them to other places. These matter now, because if you make that explosion actually strong enough, it might be more worth it to just kill 1 guy and have him blow up his friends than to try to kill 2 guys, right? So much cool stuff you can do with this. And it's stuff like this that makes combats in Arches and Avatars really interesting, really dynamic. At any time, anywhere, you can have these portals and landmines and walkable surfaces, and that's not even scratching the surface. We have magical weather that makes people fly or enlarges them. Like, you can be walking along, and the sun shines on you when the wind blows, and boom, now you're a large creature for 1d4 rounds. Okay, great, you're large. The weather cast a spell on you and made you large. Combats are so interesting and so dynamic. Anything can happen at any time. It's the worlds. It's so cool. The world that we're making, one of the worlds, is just absolutely fantastic. The combats are so interesting, effortlessly interesting, because you don't have to prep any of this. It's like you have a roll table of the weather, and you're like, oh, it's sunny today, which means this spell is cast, you're enlarged. Like, you can, easy, anytime you want. You can be like, I'm gonna roll 3 weather effects during combat because I want to. Like, it's so interesting. Anyway, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing, feeding the algorithm. We have a Discord channel where you can join and talk about Arches and Avatars, get early access to Arches and Avatars. It's the only place you can get it. And even get some homebrew stuff for 5e occasionally. Sometimes I make one. I currently have one about the Warlock and taking the Warlock out of, like, it's not a class anymore, and it's just something you add on to your class, which is how I think it always should have been, where, like, you're a fighter, then you make a deal with an Eldritch Patron, and now you have magic, right? That doesn't take away your fighter class. It doesn't count as a level in a class. It's an extra thing you add on top, right? That is there for free currently right now on the Discord. Anyway, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Please join Patreon. I need a lot of money to quit my job and actually work on this full-time because I'm very passionate about it, and I really, really, really want to do it, and I want this to be my full-time job, and I'm tired of, like, hurting my feet pushing carts at Walmart, and I really want to make this thing get off the ground. So help me with that, would you? Give me lots and lots of money, because I really need a lot of money. Anyway, thank you for watching, and y'all have a good day. God bless.